Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead. Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out, and the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle of the 15 to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? What? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago. All right. Click the like button. Now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait. There's more. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, go to YouTube. Type in Sports Zone Chicago. Click the subscribe button. But also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Sorry about that. We had a last minute confirmation, so pretty happy. Anyway, listen, you can also tweet shows. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. At Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, I got a great show for you, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because the chat seems to be jumping already, and I like it. I like it a lot. Cornelius Squalls is in the house. What up, what up, what up? ShawnSierraSports fans. Fire Jet Hoyer. Oh, wow. Harsh. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. is in the house. He says the Cubs are underperforming at the wrong time. All the hitters in a slump at the same time. It did nothing to improve the team. Cub fans expressing their disappointment. Sean Walls in the Mickey Ficky house says, yo, on a hump day, peeps. Sean's in the house. What's up, Bubba? How are you? Thank you, sir. I appreciate you for tuning in. Oh, snap. Mr. Shorty is in the house. It's top of the morning to you. Mr. Shorty, how are you doing, sir? Thank you very much. Black Diamond's checking in. What's up, Bubba? How are you? It's the top of the morning. All it takes is one bad month to not make the playoffs, and the Cubs are having that mixed in with some questionable decision-making in game. Man, Cub fans are livid. They are frustrated. I get it. I understand. My man, the Plankster is in the house. Good morning, Shawn. Good morning, chat. Bear down. Bear down, baby. That's what I'm talking about. The Plankster is in the house. Lavette Lee checking in. She says, happy hump day, y'all. Good morning, Mom. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Let's see who else. You're damn right, Junior. You're damn right. Junior says, you know what sucks about being a Cub fan right now is Shawn can throw shade at me. Oh, and shade I will throw. Shade I will throw. Junior's known me for, how old is Mondo? 27 years? 28 years? He knows. The vet checking in. She says, "Sup, Shawn? FGB." You're damn right, baby. FGB. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Man, listen, we got a great show for you. At 10 o'clock, my man Herb Howard from the Bigs is going to join us. We have all things Bears to discuss. Let me tell you, the Bears had a very physical practice yesterday up at Hallis Hall, and it was in response to their quote-unquote sloppy performance on Sunday at Family Fest. And those were the words, or that was the word that head coach Ben Johnson used. And they ramped it up yesterday. Big time. 2 hours and 2 minutes, I want to say. So a 2-hour practice yesterday with a lot of hitting, some skirmishes. You know what happened, Junior. You know what it is, man. When you got physical practice, you're going to get into some scuffles. You're going to have some people not liking some of their teammates playing through the whistle. And there were quite a few skirmishes yesterday. I think there were 4 skirmishes yesterday at practice. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It shows one thing, that the intensity is there. The orneriness is there. That's an old word I just made up, orneriness. The desire to hit someone else is there. They're tired of hitting the same people. They see the same people. They've seen them for the last couple of months. And that's coming. Well, ask and you shall receive. The Miami Dolphins are coming to town. They're going to practice. They're going to be a joint practice on Friday with the Bears, and then they play on Sunday. So they're going to get some fresh meat. And watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. I said it before. I'll say it again. When you get different people, that you're facing, right? They don't know you. They don't know the schemes you run. They don't know the plays you run. They don't know the sequence or plays that you have. It's very interesting. From grammar school on, I noticed it. I was with Coach Shaller, Coach Quinn. Rest in peace, both of those gentlemen had a huge part in the development of the SuperBack in my football career and as a man as well. Big shout out to Coach Quinn and Coach Shaller. Man, they broke the mold when they made those two guys. But I digress. I noticed a lot of times in practice, we practice over at Marquette Park, 67th and California, across from the hospital, from Holy Cross Hospital, where I went to school, Holy Cross. Interesting. But anyway, we'd practice, and we had hard practices. Those were the 80s. Okay? Those were the 80s. And practices were tough. And it just never – I'd have running lanes and things like that when we practiced, but it wasn't clear. We get to game. We play St. Catherine, St. Christina, Innis. Who else did we play? Did we play Holy Redeemer? No, that was Danny McGuire. They weren't in our team, in our conference. St. Bede. Okay, we play some of those teams. We play those teams, and in the game, those lanes were crisp. They were, distinct, because they didn't know how. Well, one, we had a great team. But two, those teams had no idea what we were doing. They didn't have access to us. Film and Coach Quinn and Coach Schaller were one of the first ones. I told you, I used to watch film in 6th grade. 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. We used to watch film. But I digress. But the opposing teams don't have that type of access to you and what you're doing. So it's going to look a lot cleaner on Sunday. It's going to look a lot cleaner on Sunday. That I truly believe. Don't get me wrong. They're going to see some things in practice, but the Bears they're going to do their most basic things. I would imagine. You don't want to show anything in the preseason. You definitely don't want to show anything on Friday, or a lot of things on Friday that you're going to run on Sunday. So it's going to be basically a fundamentals session between the Bears in their practice with the Miami Dolphins on Friday. It's going to be a lot cleaner. Okay, trust me. And it's going to be the same thing for the Dolphins. It'll be cleaner for them, for their offense, because they've been going against their defense for the same amount of time. But don't worry, you're going to see a much better team, a much more efficient team, I believe, on Sunday as they play a team that they haven't faced for the last 3 months, as they have faced themselves. So Herb Howard's going to join me at 10 o'clock. I'm fired up about it. It's always great to talk to Herb. Always great to talk to Herb. So then we got more to talk. We got baseball to talk. Cub fans you heard them. You've seen them in the chat. They are livid. We got Cubs to talk. We got White Sox to talk. We got Sky to talk. So as our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson used to say, sit back, relax, and strap it down. Because we got a lot to talk about. Big move by ESPN. What the hell was that? Woo. Crazy. Talk about Caleb Williams. See, people. All right, Caleb got some flack on the internet yesterday for a comment that he made. And I get it. Remember, I'm a Justin guy. I didn't want Caleb here, but he's here now, and he's our quarterback. Doesn't mean I can't stop liking Justin. Okay, but what I will do is I will support my Chicago Bears. All right, Caleb's here. I want him to be successful, because if he's successful, his team is successful. And a lot of people are throwing shade on Caleb for what was said yesterday when he was talking to the NFL Network and Stacey Dales and goodness, can't think of it'll lose me. The other guy, the gentleman. Anyway, we're going to talk about his statements, and a lot of people came at him because saying he's selfish, worried about only his own personal goals and agenda, and that's not it at all. Let's, I know many people are still, this fan base is still fractured because of that situation last offseason, but unfortunately we got to move forward. Or so fortunately we had to move forward. All right, Caleb's here. Caleb did a great job last year, 3,500 yards in a shit show of a situation with offensive coordinator being fired, head coach being fired. Yeah, let's move forward and say this. Some people are beyond saving. Let's keep it a buck. Some people are going to bitch and moan just to bitch and moan. All right, but let's make sure we stand behind our guy. Let's make sure we support our guy. He's going through a new system. He's learning a new system. He's going through a lot. You know what I mean? He's going through a lot. It takes a lot to learn a new offense. I'm telling you, every time I played with a new team. And luckily, the teams that I played with for a while. So I wasn't jumping from team to team. Okay. Had a couple different offensive coordinators. But for the most part, there was consistency with me, especially the last team I was with, the Thunder. Consistency. Same offensive play caller for my tenure with the Thunder. It was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow. 8 years. Yeah. Same play caller, Tony Patak, guns. So it made it interesting, made it easier for me. So let's support our guys. All right, let's not be a negative Nancy. Let's not be a jag bag. All right. Just because the quarterback we wanted isn't here doesn't mean you have to shit on the quarterback that is. Okay? This quarterback is talented. Remember, I've never, ever, ever questioned Caleb's talent. Never. Okay? Let him be. What do you say, Shorty? Or is that let Caleb be Caleb? All right, let him do his thing. And he's in a process of learning a new system, and give him some grace. And listen, don't listen to all the media members who don't know, a lot of them who do not know football. Okay? And they're talking about, well, Caleb was, you start throwing stats out for practice, for training camp, come on. It's clickbait for people, for you got to understand, follow the money. All right, people put this stuff up because they want you to click on their site. More clicks equals more views equals more the ability to charge more revenue for ad space. So it's got to be a catchy line. It got to be a wow headline. It's not always the case. It's not. It's not. Okay? Especially for people who haven't, a lot of people who haven't played the game, they're into the sensationalism of headlines. You know me, I'm not into the sensationalism of headlines. All right, I'll tell you what I think from my experience of 30 years of playing football, 16 years, 17 years of coaching it. That's where I come from. That's where my takes come from. Not from, oh, I need clicks so we can charge more for ad space. No. I just keep it a buck from my experience, and my experience is pretty vast. All right, it's been at the high school, coaching at playing high school, Division I football, professionally overseas, semi-pro, coaching in high school and in college. So my perspective is where I draw my takes and my thoughts from. Not, how can I get people to click on it? All right. So I'm excited. At the top of the hour, my man Herb's going to join us. It's going to be awesome. You're right, man. King Booker World says, Shawn, some folks are happy being miserable. Yeah. Mr. Shorty says, Mr. Caleb is my bucket list QB, Shawn. I have over $4,000 in faith invested into his rookie cards. I hear you. He's going to be good, bro. He's going to be good. Shorty also asked, Shawn, do you think Caleb can be better than Jaden Daniels this year, considering Daniels in this year 2 of his offense? That's a tricky question. What do you mean better? What do you mean better? You talking individually better than Jaden Daniels? Because this is where the fan in most people come in. I don't give a shit about better. I don't give a shit about his numbers versus Jaden Daniels. I give a shit about his role in the improvement of the Chicago Bears record. Jaden Daniels can go off again because he's more comfortable and he's in the same system. He's got Cliff Kingsbury there, okay, for a second year. He's not learning a new offense, okay? And they may lose. They may go 9-7. They may go 10-7, 7-10. Who knows? Caleb can have a not as good a year stats-wise, but the Bears may win more. And that's all I care about. I care about, listen, I believe this is believe me, I never thought I'd say this last year. I believe Caleb will probably win an MVP or two here in Chicago. But it won't be this year. It won't be this year. Okay? Now, if Caleb has an MVP season, it'll probably be next year or the years to follow. But my most important concern is that I see development from him. I see progress from him. I see a Caleb that toward the end of the year, like, wow, this guy is so much more developed than the beginning of the year. Because remember, I've told you a million times, 2026 is the floodgates open. Floodgates open. That's when Caleb, no one's learning a new offense, no one's learning a new defense, nothing. Now they can react. And again, my feet are here. My feet are in 2025, but I also understand that better things are coming in 2026 and beyond. I stated that many times, much to the dismay of Rick. We got to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, Shorty, you're talking about better stats, more wins. I only care about more wins. I don't care about regular stats, dude. I don't. I really, really don't. Okay? Especially this year. This year, I couldn't give a rat's ass about stats. There's one stat I want that I care about. How many dubs do we get? That's what I care about. How many dubs do we get? How easy is it to see the progress or the development of Caleb? That, to me, is the most important thing. There's no statistic that quantifies that. And my man Rick on cue goes F2026. Shawn, good morning to you, amigo. FGB. Rick's coming in hot, baby. I love it. Oh, man, this is great. But listen. Now, okay, I like the way you rephrase this. Mr. Shorty says, I guess what I mean is, are people going to turn their blowfest towards Caleb this year, or they will continue to blow hard on Jaden Daniels, FGB? I'll tell you what. That all depends on Caleb. Here's the most important thing. If Caleb is comfortable taking singles and doubles, using a baseball analogy, okay, if he's comfortable doing that, the love fest is going to fall to Caleb. You know why? Because Caleb's going to have there's going to be a game where Caleb is 14 of 20, 300 yards, and maybe 2-3 touchdowns. You're like, how the hell did you get 300 yards out of 14 completions? Because he's going to get the ball to the playmakers. Here's the thing, Shorty and everybody else. Here's the thing. Caleb does not have to do everything. You don't need to be Superman every play. You don't. You have extremely talented compadres on the offense. Compatriots, for those of you who don't know that, what compadres is. Let your playmakers do their thing. Let them. Let your playmakers do their thing. You got so many. We've talked about it before. I think, Shorty, I think if Caleb understands, you get the ball to Luther Burden on a slant or on a crossing route, on a drag route, you understand that dude can go. And that 20 or 30 yards he gets afterwards, that goes on your stats too. If you hit DeAndre Swift or Kyle Monangai or Roschon Johnson out of the backfield as a check down because everything else is covered, and they go and they get 12, 15 yards, that goes on your stats too. And speaking from a defensive coordinator's position, you cannot stop everything. You cannot take away everything. You can't, if you want to guard against deep ball, you're going to give up the intermediate and the short ball. You cannot cover everything as a defense. And when you're playing against a team that is loaded with talent like the Bears are, there's no way you can stop everything. None. So the task for Caleb is find out what are they giving you on each play. What are they giving you? Are they blitzing? Perfect. Guess what? They're giving me the quick outs. They're giving me the quick routes. My running back sneaking out of the backfield. Let me take that, get a whole bunch of yards, and move on. Because there's going to come a point in time when they master that short game, there's going to come a point in time where they're able to go deeper. No diddy. They're going to be able to go intermediate and deep routes as they shore up. The more they shore up and the more efficient they become in the short game. Just telling you how it is. And if they do that, Shorty, and you start seeing Caleb with, even if it's 24 of 32, 300 yards, you start seeing a couple 300-yard games from Caleb, you start seeing some 300-yard games from Caleb, and all of a sudden people are like, whoa, he got 300 yards. Oh, another 300 yards. Oh, another. Now he's looking like the number one overall pick. Because they're going to say, oh, he's 24 for 32, 312, 330, whatever, 2 or 3 tutties. Rick's coming in hot, baby. He's saying, that's the nightmare word again for Bears fans. Slants, FGB. I'm cool with Caleb, and the short passing game will lead to big gains. It will. But you want to get the ball to your receivers quickly, especially if they have leverage. Interesting, Shorty. Yeah, this can go one of two ways. Bears come out of the gates hot because there's no tape of their offense yet, or they fall flat on their face. No, there's a middle in between. They can be good, not super hot, but they can be good. And that's the point I'm leaning toward. Is that they're going to come out playing well. Let me take a quick break. All right, on the other side of the break, we'll actually get to the top of the morning topics, but let me get the wording off to CrossFit. All right, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
It won't come just when you want it.
911. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on.
She won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports and Sports Zone Chicago. Hitting our top of the morning topic. Let's see which way do we go. Which way do we go? I know which way we're going to go. We're going to go this way. First top of the morning topic: the Cubs. The Cubs fall 5-1 to the Cincinnati Reds. Ooh, the Cubs are in a pickle right about now. They're not playing good ball. Shota Imanaga, he started the game. He got a no decision. 6 in the third innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 7 punch outs. Shaw was 1 for 3 with a homer, tallying the only run for the Cubs, his 7th homer of the year, driving in his 26th ribby of the year. Now, some people question, there were a couple, I didn't see the game, but a lot of people questioned the removing of Shota after 6 in the third. Now, I didn't see his how many pitches did he have? 92 pitches. Okay. Was there, that's the thing. Since I didn't see the game, I couldn't get the feel of the game. But a lot of people on social media, with their expert opinions, were saying that he got taken out too soon. That I don't know. Cub fans, give me your thoughts. Was Shota taken out too soon? Because that was the sentiment on social media. All right, he gave up 1 run, 6 in the third. Maybe if you get him through 7, it helps, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Junior said he got taken out too soon. Okay. You other Cub fans feel the same way? Interesting. But let's keep it moving a little bit. The next top of the morning topic, we're going to stay with the Cubs. The Cubs face the Reds again today. They're looking to avoid the sweep. The Cubs, I said, are in a little funk right now. First pitch is at 1:20 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 6:70 a.m. The probables for today's game for Cincinnati. They trot out Andrew Abbott, who's 8-1 with a 2.15 ERA. Going up against Cade Horton, who's on the bump for the Northsiders, who's 5-3 with a 3.42 ERA. Yeah, the last 2 games, yesterday and today, since he has some really, really good pitchers up on the bump. So it's going to be a tough one for the Cubs to avoid the sweep. They got to come ready to play in friendly confines. Unfortunately, Milwaukee won again yesterday, so now the Cubs are 4 games back in the NL Central. But like I told you, things ebb and flow. I highly doubt that for the last 50-plus games or so that the Milwaukee Brewers are going to stay as hot as they are. And I highly doubt for the last 50-something games or so Cubs are going to be in this funk the entire time. I find it very difficult because it's a season of ebbs and flows, and it's a long season, man. A long, long season. Black Diamond says yes. In my honest opinion, yeah. So you think that he got taken out too soon as well? Okay. And I'm wondering. Like I said, I didn't watch the game. So 92 pitches, I would think he'd be, get him up to closer to 100. Let him get out of the inning. But no. And it could be a tough 92, a hard 92. It could be. Except since I didn't see the game, that I can't comment truthfully on. But keeping it moving, the next top of the morning topic, the good guys from the South Side, they lost late last night to the Seattle Mariners, 8-3. Davis Martin, he got the loss. He's now 3-9 on the season. He went 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 5 punch-outs. White Sox were the beneficiary of 3 long balls. Lewis Robert was 1 for 4, hitting his 12th homer of the season, driving in his 46th RBI of the season. Lenyn Sosa was 1 for 4, hitting his 12th homer of the season, driving in his 44th RBI of the season. And Colson Montgomery, this youngster is hot. He was 1 for 4, hitting his 8th home run in 12 games, driving in his 24th RBI of the season. I tell you, that Colson Montgomery guy is something else. Now, the question for the Sox is, are you going to leave him at third, or is he going to be your everyday shortstop? I personally feel he's going to be left at third. I think he's going to be left at third because if he's your everyday shortstop, you put him in shortstop. You leave him there. But the moving him around, short, third, leave him at third a little longer. I think they're looking for their third baseman because they have quite a few young shortstops in the system that can come up and play that position. All right. He could end up being one of the best third basemen. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying he's going to be, but he has that potential. Okay, and then just made the switch from short to third. But I'm anxious to see. But this kid's hot. This kid is hot. 8 homers, 12 games. That can't be sustained. I'll be a monkey's uncle if he sustains that pace. 8 homers in 12 games. That's what there's 50 games left, so 48. $12 games, 44, 32. Damn, that will put him at 40 homers. If he stayed at that pace, if Colson Montgomery stayed at that pace, he'd end up with 40 homers on the season. Hey, there's no wondering who's the rookie of the year at that point. I can tell you that. The rookie comes out, hits 40 homers. Get the hell out of here. Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Rick, you asked a question. Do we have anyone with over 20 home runs? No, we do not. No, we do not. Benintendi leads us with 14 homers. Lenyn Sosa has 7. I'm sorry, Lenyn Sosa has 11, excuse me. Lewis Robert has 11. Why did I put 12? That's what I wrote. I guess I can't read. They said, this was going, through Monday. That's why that says through Monday. Yeah, okay, they're good. Yesterday was Tuesday. Same with the White Sox. Rick, it's frustrating. No one has 20 home runs on our team. Nobody. Anyway, the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox take on the Mariners again tonight. First pitch is at 8:40 p.m. Central. Don't forget, they're playing on the left coast, so the games are going to start here later. You can catch that game on CHSN or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. The probables for tonight's game for the White Sox, Jonathan Cannon is trotted out on the bump for the good guys. He's 4-8 with a 4.77 ERA going up against George Kirby for the Mariners, who's 6-5 with a 4.13 ERA. All right, this is a chance for us to kind of jump on this dude. Yeah. Yeah, if he hits 40 homers in that amount, he'll be in the MVP combos. He probably won't win it, but he'll definitely be in the combos. Kid who comes up a month and a half into the season, a rookie coming up a month and a half into the season, hitting 40. Yeah. All eyes are going to be on him. But give me 25 homers. If he just doubles his homer amount now, just give me 25. No, I shouldn't say double. He's got 8 homers. You can give me 25 homers, so you need 17 more home runs. That would be a nice number. I'll give me 20. Give me 20. Give me 12 more homers, and I'll be happy as a pig in slop. Because at this particular point, if you get that 20 homers as a rookie, is extremely impressive. That came up a month and a half, 2 months into the season, very impressive. Very impressive. But you know what? I'm glad they kept him. You know, there's a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk about him being moved at the trade deadline, and he didn't get moved. And I'm okay with that. I know he probably wanted to get moved. Hell, all his boys are gone. T.A., Eloy, Yo-Yo. They're all gone. So he's kind of like the cagey vet, one of the cagey vets on this team. And I'm okay with it because for $20 million, the Sox are going to pick up his option. I'm not going to let him go for free, become an unrestricted free agent. So they're going to pick up his $20 million option. And let's be honest, in Major League Baseball, today's terms, $20 million ain't that much. It's not that much. It really isn't that much. So you can take him on for $20 million, see what he does, and maybe next year he becomes valuable at the trade deadline. Or maybe he becomes the leader of this team. One of the leaders of this team. You know, the cagey vet. There was a point in time when he was a youngster. And now you stay in the game long enough, you become the old vet or uncle. Maybe they'll call him Theo Luis. Rick says, give it a year or two and we'll trade him to Boston, LA, or the Yankees. If he starts hitting homers, you're damn right the Boston, LA, or the Yankees are going to come looking for him. That's for sure. That is the fact, Jack. You know, one of the things that the offense is cool off. It's cool off a little bit. Okay? We didn't expect them to put up 7, 8, 9 runs a game. We get it. Okay? We didn't expect that. We didn't expect that to be sustained. Rick, I couldn't agree with you more. We have to stop trading on good players, FGB. I agree. That's the problem. You're always trading good players for prospects. See, my shirt says a lot. Coaching matters. Maybe it's time you stop trading talented players for prospects and bringing a better goddamn manager. There's no attack on Will Venable. I think Will Venable is a very good manager for this crew. Can he be a very good manager when this team develops and needs to take the next step into the perennial playoff contention? I don't know. But you're always going to get more and more prospects. Stop with the prospects already. Stop the dumb shit. Go get a guy who can lead them. Go get a manager who can lead them. And at this point, Will Venable is leading this young squad. Young. Inexperienced, naive group to some wins. Yes, we lost yesterday. You don't win them all. We got to win the next two in Seattle to win the series, but that's doable. But stop trading your good players for prospects. You don't know what prospects are. You know your good players are good players. That's the issue. Stop it. Take a look at who you have leading this bunch. And I'm speaking to the choir here, but and not about this manager, because this manager seems to be doing well. But look at all the reasons. Every single time, it's always the manager. And I know the players got to play, but the manager sets the tone. The manager allows a player, or tells the player, determines what's acceptable and what's not. You don't believe me? Go look at the Bears. Look at the way this new coach, this new head coach, is changing the culture in a couple of months. A couple of months. Who's more to blame, the GM or the manager, or both? The GM. The GM by far. Stop trading. First of all, stop picking stupid managers. We got a good one now. As I said, what type of manager or how far his ride on this express is, I don't know. Can he get them to perennial playoff contention? If he does, good. He might be the dude to take us from B to C. Right now, he's a guy to take us from A to B. And we'll see how long he stays, or he's good. Shawn, I agree with you more. You said, but the owner is still standing in the way. Yep, because they don't want to pay managers. There's this crazy sentiment throughout sports that the head coach is not very important. In baseball, they have an analytics. Oh, he's only worth 2 or 3 or 4 wins. What? Whoever came up with that shit is stupid. Because you can't calculate a culture. You can't calculate a culture. How much is this culture worth? When you got guys running the ball, running down first base line, needing to stay out of a double play, needing to beat that shot deep in the hole where the shortstop's got to come up firing, needing to beat that throw so the run from third can score. You know, this is this analytics era that we're in now. It has its purposes. You use analytics to aid, but many people use it to determine how everything is run. Everything by the numbers. Reinsdorf is the biggest issue. Junior said it most. Cubs wouldn't have won without Madden. I agree completely. Guy came in and he changed the culture. He allowed guys to be themselves. He demanded that they play 90 feet. And you don't have to be loud and brag and abrasive to get your point across. We've seen Lovey. We've had coaches who weren't very loud and demonstrative and crazy, but got their point across. So you can do that. That can be done. But man, Jerry Reinsdorf is it's frustrating, man. It really is. Yeah, old man Reinsdorf hates analytics. I get it. But what about Chris Getz? What is Chris Getz using? Because Reinsdorf needs to back off. And we've talked about this before. You've had Rick Hahn was a thief of thieves. His ability to fleece teams for top-notch talent for players we traded. Adam Eaton. All right, that trade was crazy. The Chris Sale trade. We got great players. Now you need a leader to lead them. Let me ask you a question. Would you want a shitty general to lead you into war? Would you want a shitty general leading you into war? No, you wouldn't. Because it's going to cause a lot of casualties and you're probably going to lose the battle, if not the war. Same thing for sports. Don't get a guy leading the crew from the discount rack. I'm not saying that first-time managers can't be good managers. But if you have a chance to get quality managers when you have a talented team like the White Sox did, you go get a manager that can lead them. Don't get a rookie manager for an underperforming veteran team. But you want to go on the cheap. And that's why it got you what it got you. Go get a guy who can lead men. And for whatever reason, the White Sox don't seem to want a guy who can lead men. Or I shouldn't say don't want to. They hadn't up to this point. I think that Will Venable is a really good selection for this crew. Judy says Renteria had the Sox playing. Yeah, he did. When TA and Yo-Yo and Eloy and Lubai, all those guys were young in the first couple years, man, those kids were exciting. They had a lot of comeback wins. They were having fun, bat flips, the whole nine. King Book, you're full. I know a coach that can cost you 4 or 5 wins. Oh, he's now the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, man. But that's where we're at. Why do we see it in sports, especially with my White Sox, our Chicago teams? You go get, look at it as if it's a business. It's a business. So if you have a multi-million-dollar company, are you going to go get a first-time CEO to run the company? Probably not. Probably not. You're gonna want a person in there who has experience running corporations with a track record of sustained growth. But my White Sox, no, and other teams in sports, no, let's go get the cheapest manager, coach we can get to lead this organization. It's crazy. The thought process is bass-ackwards. But so many people, so many organizations in sports think along those lines because they think about the money. Well, we're going to have to spend money for a good manager, a good head coach. No shit, Sherlock. Welcome to the world of business. Welcome to the world of business. Corners and one of your most important figures in your organization. And that's where our White Sox seem to love to do. Let's go get a cheap manager who, in his first year, Because, again, managers are only worth 3 or 4 wins, according to analytics, which is bullshit. That's why I can't stand when people use analytics for everything. It's got to be a feel. It's got to. You get me fired up, man. You just got me. This got me fired up. Because how many rebuilds have I seen on the South Side where we actually had good talent? Just go get a shitty manager because you don't want to pay him, because the general managers have to be the golden boys. They got to be the most important face. They got to be the face of the franchise. Remember, back in the day, no one knew who the hell the general managers were. It was always the head coaches, the Whitey Herzogs. All right? The Whitey Herzogs, the Billy Martins, the Tommy Lasordas. All right? Chuck Knowles in football. Don Shula. No one knew who the general managers were. Now it's all about the general managers because they have to be the most important people in a franchise. But I digress. You got me fired up this morning, and that's okay. We're going to take another break, and hopefully the commercial doesn't go off like last time. And on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans and them, Herb Howard, with the Bigs, talk about all things Bears. Heavy duty practice yesterday. Heavy duty, baby. And I'm excited about it. We're going to talk to him on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. Man, I'm fired up. I am fired up to have my next guest on. He's been out at Bears camp, seeing the new culture that has been established and that these players are playing underneath. And a lot of them are excited. And they should be. This is how you build a championship team. Hold people accountable. Call out the bullshit when it happens. And that's what's being done. And yesterday was one of the most physical practices, or probably the most physical practice this year. According to a couple of reporters, it's the most physical practice they've ever seen since covering the team. Others who've been covering it a really long time said it's the most physical since the Lovey era. And that made the hair on my arms stand up. I felt giddy like a 12-year-old schoolgirl to hear that. Because that's how you play football. That's how you become good at football. That's how you become dominant in football. And Ben Johnson knows that. And that's why he had that. That's why he's not afraid to call out people. And I was listening to the radio the other day, and they're talking about Ben Johnson being forthright. And one of the people said, well, you have to be cautious that you don't hurt their feelings or don't put them off. And I was like, what? These are grown-ass men. This football is the alpha sport of alpha sports. And alpha males do not get offended when you call them out. Guys who want to be great do not get offended. I wanted to reach through the radio and slap the shit out of that dude. Like, dude, come on. They're going to get offended? He keeps calling me out. He keeps saying I'm missing my block. Well, don't miss your goddamn block. Crazy idea. He lets you know how it is. Men, this is how men operate. Let us know the problem and we fix it. In life, not even football, just life. Man, we're problem solvers. What's the problem? You're not blocking. I can block better. Okay, thank you, coach. I'll do it. That's how we are. Don't worry about offending. He might offend the players. Get the hell out of here. Swear I wanted to reach through my phone and smack the shit out of that dude. Like, don't say something so stupid. Anyway, my man, you've seen him around, seen him on TV. Covers the Bears for the Bigs. You can find him on Twitter at Herb Howard 411. Let's welcome in my man Herb Howard for the Bigs. Herb, what's up, Papa? How are you?
I'm great, brother. How you feeling?
I'm doing well, dude. I am doing well, man. Except when I heard that the other day, I was like, really? They're gonna hurt their feelings? They're gonna get mad?
Hey, listen. I think we definitely dealing with a new generation of athlete. They've come up in a different way, a little bit more spoiled, a little bit more entitled, with a lot more people overly invested in befriending them and keeping them happy, whether that's at the lower levels. I know we're talking about football, but you look at sports like basketball, baseball, where they got all these travel teams, AAU, and a lot of these coaches or whomever are invested in these kids being at certain places and being happy. And sometimes they do cater to them, but I think it's ultimately been to the detriment of the game and to the detriment of those individual players too. So for me, in the best interest of the game, in the best interest of building a champion, fuck they feelings, man. That's not what this is about. We growing something here. This is what it takes. This is what's required. This is the standard, and that's what it's gonna be. You want to be here, you don't want to be here, but this is how we're gonna do things.
And every player has had, even in this new era of coddling the kids and giving them what they want, they've had that badass coach who just yells and always focusing on what needs to be done. People say they focus on the negative. Like, no, it's not the negative. You focus on where your weaknesses are. I don't need to focus on my strengths because they're my strengths and they're making me win games. Right. I need to focus on the weaknesses so those weaknesses don't lose me games.
Right.
So I love how Ben Johnson is. Give me your thoughts on Ben Johnson. As I said, he ain't putting up with no bullshit. He's not putting up with nothing. You screw up, stop it, run it again. He'll call you out. He's been calling people out. How do you feel about that with this guy? The guy's like 39 years old. He ain't even 40 years old yet.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. It's consistent. It's daily. It's authentic. Right. I think a lot of people question whether or not, this mad genius of an offensive mind could command the room in front of 53 grown men and professional athletes. And he answered those questions right off the bat. I think even at his introductory press conference when he talked about, making sure that guys got comfortable being uncomfortable because he was going to push them to the limits and beyond. I think that's what it takes. And he's been that way ever since. He's been that way. He hasn't passed up mistakes. We heard from the previous regime that, we aren't going to walk past any mistakes. And then later on, you hear they walk past a lot of mistakes and they should have corrected these things in the summer and they should have corrected these things in the spring. Well, he's correcting those things every time he sees them. It doesn't matter if we're talking about how we break the huddle what it sounds like, what it looks like. Doesn't matter if we're talking about what your alignment is, if you're 1 foot off, 1 yard off. Doesn't matter if we're talking about what your landmarks are during the middle of the play, if you're not on the right angle, if you're not, on the right track. All of those things in his mind are reasons to re-huddle and do it again. And I think that makes a lot of sense, especially at this time of year, right? We're trying to get this thing right. We're not going to install it with mistakes. That's foolish. It's like building something knowing that you put the foundation in wrong. You're like, well, we're just going to keep building this house. That house is going to fall, right? And so he's like, absolutely not. I'm not going for it. I plan to live here for a long time. It's going to be a beautiful house. And I'm not letting none of y'all put the screws in the wrong place, put the beams in the wrong spot. Everything is going to be where it's supposed to be and exactly how it's supposed to be there. And I don't care if it takes us a little bit longer to get where we're going to go. When we get there, it's going to be a strong house. And so I like what he's doing. He's doing it evenly across the board. Doesn't matter if you're undrafted, rookie free agent, or you're a veteran player, or you're the number 1 overall pick. Everybody can get it. And I like him keeping that standard across the board, and his coaches are following his lead. They're all doing the same thing. You look across at the defense. Dennis Allen doing the same thing. He's got Coach Harris in the back. Coach Harris stands in the back on the field in the back of the play every single snap. He's the only one back there. He's 30, 40 yards off the ball, and he's just standing there and he's watching all his DBs, and he's on them about every little thing. Hand placement, what they did with their feet, where their eyes were, all those types of things. He's on them after every single snap. See Eric Bieniemy on the same thing with the running backs, right? Every small detail, where your eyes are, what your feet are doing, what track you're on, like all of those small things. And it's every single person. He was on Travis Homer yesterday, and it was hard for me to tell exactly what he was talking about. I could hear what he was saying, but I didn't know exactly what he was talking about. But he wanted him to be flatter. They were doing like some type of counter where they would take a step or two to the left, and they were coming back to the right. And whatever track he wanted Travis Homer on, Travis was not on it, even though he had done the rep, 4 or 5 times. And you could see Travis was getting frustrated. He's like, man, what the hell am I not doing right? That he keeps on saying the same thing to me. But, whether Travis was frustrated or not, Coach Bieniemy wasn't coming off of it. But the point is, they're all doing that. They're all expecting perfection in terms of, knowing what you're supposed to do. Now, we know this is football. We know every rep isn't going to be perfect. There are going to be some things that go on here or there. But in terms of knowing what you're supposed to do and knowing how we want it done, we're going to make sure that's right.
It goes back to an old saying that I had, and I've said this for years on the show. A good coaching colleague of mine brought it to my attention when I was coaching when we were at Curie. And he said he learned it from a coach, and his coach said, if you take care of the little things, there are no big things. And that resonated with me. And that's what this coaching staff seems to be doing. All the little things. You talked about hand placement. Why is that important? Well, if you don't get your hand in the right spot, guess what? And as a DB, guy can swim by you, and now he's gone, and now you're in trail technique, and now, boop, there's 6. All right, if you don't get your
a lot of man coverage.
Yeah, if you're an offensive lineman, and you don't get your proper step, that step and that proper angle. Guess what? Defensive end beats you, sacks the quarterback.
Beat across the face.
Now, so that's one of the reasons I really I like the hire in the beginning. And as it's gone on, as this offseason has gone on, I've liked the hire more and more and more because of the way he's building. This is the way that most great championship teams are built. There's going to come a point in time where it's not even going to be Coach Johnson anymore. It's going to be the players. They're going to once everything trickles down, they're going to be the ones. Because one of my buddies, Marcus Sullivan he went to Fenwick, U of I, played for the Bills. He played for the Patriots one year. And I asked him, I was like, dude, how was Belichick? He's like, bro, it wasn't even Belichick. Because it was everyone in the room. Because it was Teddy Bruschi. It was Willie McGinnis. Because it was Brady. Belichick didn't have to do anything. It was the players. I think they're going to get to that point in a season or two. And when we get to that point, I think then we're on the fast track to being a perennial playoff team.
It's happening even faster. I heard Caleb say on the NFL Network yesterday, they were up at camp and, they pulled, I think, Montez and Caleb for a couple interviews. And in that interview, I was watching and Caleb said that he said, man, we're getting to the point where players are calling guys out now for, not meeting the standard here and there. And I think, like you said, that's when you're getting somewhere, right? When it doesn't have to be, daddy doesn't have to, get on everybody, but, the brothers are getting on each other. Like, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. So I think, it's a good thing. And it's not for everybody. It ain't for everybody. And so what? You know what I mean? Everybody can't go. we looking for the 53 that can go, and those are the guys that are going to stick around.
Talk to me about, obviously, let's get to Caleb. There have been some reports, and it's difficult for me to decipher who to trust. All right, very difficult, because some people say, "Oh, he looks horrible." Okay, well, what do you know about quarterback play? What do you know about, you know what I mean? And that's what bugs me. In your opinion, because you play quarterback, all right, how does Caleb look? Because again, Caleb had a horrible day. Caleb had a good day. Caleb had a horrible, and I don't really know. And the thing is, I'm not looking at stats, which are all over the place for training camp, is ridiculous. I'm not looking at those. What I need to find out is his footwork down? Is his timing down? Is he getting the feel, the rhythm of the offense? I don't give a shit if he's 8 for 20. Okay, I need to know if that ball's coming out on time. I need to know if the ball placement is time, because his accuracy was in question. Is he in time? Is he in rhythm? Does he look comfortable back there in this offense?
It's been largely a struggle for him so far through camp. The ball isn't coming out in rhythm on time. He's still holding on to it. He's still running around. He's still, trying to make these spectacular plays because things aren't happening for him in the rhythm of the offense, right? You're still seeing some inaccuracies. But I think some of that is to be expected. You're talking about a kid who's learning a new system, right? Even if you just go back to his college days and just call it a simple 3, he's learning his third system in 3 years, right? So you're talking about a guy who's had different head coaches at the NFL level already, different play callers at the NFL level already, and it's just a lot to digest. So when I say it's been a struggle for him, I don't mean that to say I don't think he can play the position. I don't think he can succeed there. Right, I still believe he's immensely talented. I still believe he's very driven. He's willing to work at it. So if it was my money, I would still bet on Caleb being very successful in this league. That being said, it has been a struggle for him to this point in camp. Number one, the defense is going to be ahead of you at this stage in camp. But what you're seeing a lot of is the operation just not being smooth, right? They're not getting in and out of the huddle quickly. One of the things I was saying early before they started this process and got into camp was I would be more paying attention to small things like how often is the play clock running down to 1 and to 0, other than the times when they're trying to run the clock down, right? And it's happening frequently. I mean, it's frequent where they're like, let's go, gotta go. You're seeing delay of games frequently. You're seeing the ball snapped, and there's just this kind of awkward delay about what's happening here, right? And it's leading to throwaways. He had a very bad throwaway a few practices ago down near the goal line, 3rd and goal, and he snaps the ball. There was some confusion. Defense gets in the backfield. He throws the ball to nobody. He gets an intentional grounding and wastes it down. Now it's 4th down, and you're on the goal line. And Coach Johnson was so frustrated, he just shut down the period. He didn't kick the field goal. He just shut it down and sent everybody back down to the other end of the field. Those are the types of things that it doesn't really matter what system you're in, right? You've been playing quarterback for a long time. It's 3rd down. You can't just throw the ball to nobody in the pocket, right? So those are the type of things that are a little bit frustrating. What you see from him, but then you've had a few days where you've seen some improvement, right? And you've seen him play well, and you've seen him move the ball, and you've seen him operate well in the red zone situations or in the 2-minute situations. So it hasn't been all bad. I'm not here to say that. I'm here to paint a accurate picture of what's happening out here. And I think it's been frustrating for me this summer because I've noticed this summer more than any other that there have been so many reports of things. And I'm like, I'm standing here watching this game, and I'm not Ben Johnson, but I know football better than most. And I'm like, are we at the same practice? Like, what were you watching that you decided to report this to the people? And I think you get into a space now where you get into this, number of followers and number of clicks and number of engagement, and you want to tell people what they want to hear. And Bears fans, they want to hear that Caleb is lighting it up. They want to hear that this offense is a well-oiled machine and they're going to hit the ground running. And you want to hear, I don't know why you want to hear that, right? To me, I always wanted to hear the truth as a Bears fan. Well, before, I was a beat reporter, I just wanted to hear the truth and what was going on. And certain reporters would deliver that truth. And I believed in what they were saying. And those things tend to come to fruition as the season got going. You're talking about a franchise that has not had sustained success since the 50s and 60s, right? Like, and I mean sustained success over a 10-year period where you go to the playoffs, 6 times over 10 years. You go to the playoffs more in 10 years than you didn't go to the playoffs in those 10 years. And the Bears haven't done that since the 60s. Not even when they won the Super Bowl, they didn't have sustained success. They had won the Super Bowl. They won 14 games after that, but it kind of fell apart. For an organization that hasn't had sustained success, we have a fan base that really wants to believe that all these things are going great. It's like, well, they're not. And, people that are telling you that are only telling you that so that you can follow them and click on their stuff. And that's wonderful. Cool. To me, it's about the integrity of the game. And I respect the game too much to tell you some bullshit about what's happening on the field. It's just not happening, right? Not to say that it won't happen, that it won't come together, but it takes time to install an offense. They just got done with the install, right? It was a 12-part install. They just got done installing it, let alone mastering it, let alone it looking like a well-oiled machine. And, Caleb is just surgically picking apart this veteran defense. That's not happening, right? Anybody telling you that, they're lying to you. All right, he's made some good throws. He's had some good series. He's done some good things. But overall, it's been a struggle. And to me, that struggle was to be expected. So I don't know why people want to hear that he's just lighting this thing on fire. It's not happening right now. I expected it to take, at least to that bye week, right? After that week 4 to kind of see, okay, what are we? What do we need to correct? What do we need to lean more into? What do maybe we need to put on the shelf for a little bit of time? Because this offense is going to take some time to learn. Everybody's looking at, what Jared Goff is doing over there. Well, he's in there 3-4 years, right? And you've had quarterbacks say, it takes 2-3 years to fully master an offense to where it the same way the offensive coordinator and play caller knows it. And I think that's just the reality of it. There are a lot of new players in key roles for this team. It's just going to take some time. That doesn't mean they can't find ways to win games as they're going on this journey. But this idea, that this is going to look like, the greatest show on turf right now it's ambitious. It's a little ignorant. And I know you want to hear, this is going on, but it's just not what's happening right now. When you see some of those good things, you're happy about them because there have been some good things, right? You talk about your top 2 picks, Colston Loveland. He's ready to go at starter camp. He looks like he belongs. They move him all over the formation. He's flexed out wide. He's in the slot. He's in the backfield. He's everywhere. And he's producing at all of those spots. Luther Burden dealt with the injury. When he came back, immediately he showed that I belong at this level. I can play at this level. Now, he was gone for some time. He's got to catch up mentally. He's made some mental mistakes. And like we talked about earlier, Coach Johnson, Coach Randall, they are not going to tolerate that. And so that's limited his reps with the first team. Also, Olamide Zaccheaus is balling. He's been balling since the spring. He's continued to ball through the summer. So,
and no one's talking about that. No one's talking about how well he's balling. Everyone's talking about everyone else.
I am. Ozzie is balling. He's been balling since the spring and the summer. He has been flat out balling. So, Luther Burden just coming in and giving him that spot. Ozzie ain't going for that, right? So, he can come in and earn it. He can find a role. But I'm telling you, 14 is flashing all over the field. So there are good things that are happening. DJ Moore is all over the place. They got him in the backfield. They got him outside. They got him in the slot. Rome is consistent. Rome is going to be Rome. He's mostly that outside X receiver. He's going to win those 50-50 balls. I was telling the reporter when we were on the sideline yesterday when he called a touchdown on Nashawn Wright. It's not 50-50 with Rome. It's more like 80-20, right, when the ball's in the air because he's gonna track it well. He's going to find it. He's got hands. I think he wears I can't remember. I was trying to figure this out with Adam Hogue, but I think he wears a visor. So you can't really read his eyes. When receivers, their eyes get big. Now you bring your hands up through their hands or they flash their hands. You bring their hands up through their hands. He's got very late hands, so you can't go there, and I don't think you can see his eyes. So he's got great body control. He's strong at the point. So Rome is going to be Rome. All of these things are coming together well. I'm not painting some doomsday picture of this offense. I'm telling you the reality of where they are in the process, and to me, it should be expected.
So let me ask you this, and guys, we're on with Herb Howard, the Bears beat writer for the Bigs, talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. What is your likelihood, or the likelihood of how do you feel that this is going to look cleaner when the Miami Dolphins come to town? Because now you got a team that you haven't faced for the last 4 or 5 months in camp, every day in and day out. They don't know your tendencies, they don't know your plays, they don't know nothing. What's the likelihood of this looking cleaner in this first preseason game?
Depends, man. I think I'm very interested to see, how they're going to approach the preseason game. They got the joint practice on Friday. I tend to believe they're going to lean more into that practice than in the game in terms of who's going to play and how much they're going to play. So we'll know a lot more about what's going to happen at the game when the practice comes. And you hope they look clean, right? But again, when I'm talking clean, I'm not talking a drive he goes 7 for 8, 83 yards and a touchdown, right? Whatever, right? Hopefully he gets there at some point. What I'm talking about is, can we get this play call in? Can we regurgitate it in the huddle? Everybody understand their assignment. We get a good, clean break. We get up to the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds left. Give us ample time to read this defense, get our motions and our shifts in, because they motion and shift a lot, Shawn. Like every single play, somebody's moving, right? 2 or 3 people might move. There's a lot going on pre-snap, and they're trying to get reads on the defenses, and they're trying to get their checks in. But if you late to the line, you can't really do that, and now you're snapping the ball when we're not really ready. So I want to see the operation go smooth. I want to see them get to the line of scrimmage with 19, 20 seconds left, because if in the games, Coach Johnson's going to be able to talk to Caleb until 15 seconds on the play clock. That's when the mic goes dead. So if you can get up there when it's still 20, 21 seconds left, well, now you got 6 more seconds of help with the live look from the defense. That's going to be valuable for him. But if you're not getting up there until 10 seconds left and he's trying to figure this all out and he's trying to move people over, you're already behind. So I want to see the operation run smoother. There have been a lot of bad snaps. Coach Johnson mentioned that. He's calling it high school Harry stuff where they can't get the snaps right. That's first team. That's second team. Balls on the carpet, balls over the quarterback's head. And so they got to get those types of things right before I start to worry about how many explosives they have or what's his completion percentage or, that type of stuff. I want to see them just run a smooth operation against another team, and that'll be a good sign for them going in the right direction. I think the game will probably turn into more of some of those, positional battles where you see some of these other things kind of take shape. Kyle Monunga, I'm interested in seeing what he looks like. I saw Cornelius ask about him. He's looked really good so far in camp. He's got good feet. He's got good eyes. He works hard. He rarely makes the same mistakes twice, according to his coaches. So he's been getting a lot of the second team reps over Roschon. Now, they did a lot of short yardage and goal line yesterday, so it was a heavy day for Roschon. But in terms of just straight second team reps, that's been Kyle Monunga for a little bit, and he's getting some first team reps as well. He's willing to step in there and stone guys. I've seen him do it to a few guys. Kevin Byard, he stoned him on a blitz one time, stoned somebody else. He's willing to do it. He's got to work on some technique, but he's willing to step in there and pick up the blitz. And that's what you most worry about with a young back, and he's willing to do that. So right now he looks pretty good, but there's some other position battles that you just want to see as this thing goes along. I think they'll probably get the majority of the reps come game day.
One of the big issues that we talked about that offensive line last year. It was a big problem. One of the issues for Caleb. Caleb had his own issues, but the offensive line didn't help much. They talked to me about what you're seeing with the left tackle position. It's Kieran. I thought Kieran Magaji might be the odd man out. How's it looking between Braxton Jones and Ozzie, the Wizard of Ozzie Chapillo?
Yeah, it's a 2-man race now for sure. I thought it was the entire time, to be honest with you. But with Karan going down, it's definitely a 2-man race now, and you've been seeing them switch off. I don't think that you can say that one of them, is ahead of the other at this point, which to me kind of lends itself to the kid, because if it's my team and it's close, I'll just go with the kid. Now, I'm not cutting Braxton Jones, and I don't think there's much trade value there. maybe at the trade deadline, some guys get hurt on other teams, and they say, well, who's got some starting experience at left tackle? Then maybe there's some trade value for Braxton. But right now, I'm keeping him on the team, and I'm saying he's the swing tackle. Now, I'm also fine with Braxton winning the job. I'm just saying if it's close, let the kid get going. Let the kid get going. If it's close, let the kid get going. If it's not close, then let him wait his turn, right? And that'll come too, because he does seem to have the tools that you need. He's a technician. He works at it. He's got great football character. Like everything you hear about him has been positive. Now that being said, there's been a lot of talk since they drafted him, like, oh, he's going to come in and he's going to be your day one left tackle, and maybe he is, right? Maybe he is. But before they drafted him, I don't think many Bears fans knew who he was, right? But all of a sudden they drafted him, they start talking like he was the guy, like he was Will Campbell or he was Minbow or he was like, there were 3 tackles that people were talking about as coming in and being day one starters at the tackle position. Right. He wasn't one of them. He was honestly the last draft eligible tackle in the range that he went. And the Bears had to take him because there was a run on the other one. So this idea that he's the guy, like, I don't know about that, right? That being said, he has performed well, and if it is close, I would go with the young kid and just let him get started and let him learn while everybody else is learning. If it's not close, because Braxton has a little bit more experience, a little bit more athleticism, he can get out in that outside zone a little bit better. He can pull around a little bit quicker. If it's not close, let the veteran go. Let the kid continue to develop, and he can be your swing for you. But I think it's going well. I think they've performed pretty well, the 2 of them. And I think when you get another team in here, I think the practices against the Bills, the practices against the Dolphins will be really, really important for that battle, and kind of let that kind of dictate how it goes. Let the tape tell you who should be guarding Caleb's blindside.
I'm excited about it. I'm concerned with Braxton. How have you noticed him being strong enough at the point of attack? Because he had a pretty serious leg injury, the ankle injury. And obviously you can't squat, you can't clean, you can't deadlift, you can't do nothing when your ankle's jacked up. Have you seen his strength be an issue or lack thereof in camp to this point?
This is what I'll tell you. Yesterday was very physical, very intense. I saw no less than 5 physical altercations. In one of those altercations, it ended, and a lot of guys were in it. And I don't know how it started, but I'll tell you how it ended. Gervon Dexter took Braxton Jones and flipped him to the ground like a child. And Gervon Dexter's a big, strong man. So I don't know if that's just indicative of how strong Dex is, or Braxton's inability to stop Dex from doing that to him. You remember how Khalil Mack used to arm whip guys? He arm whipped Tristan Wirfs, and he did somebody else in the neck. It was like that. Like, Dex just grabbed him, flipped him, and I was like, God damn! Like, it was interesting. It was impressive by Dex, and it was like, ugh, Braxton, don't let him do that to you. So I don't know, man. I don't know, right? And during the plays, he seems to be holding up just fine. I don't see him getting dog walked into the backfield consistently every snap. He did get dog walked on one snap yesterday, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was. It wasn't even like one of the guys. It was number 93, and for some reason I can't pull his name out right now, but I don't think he's going to be on the team. Either way, right? I'm not seeing him consistently get bull rushed. I'm not seeing him consistently get beat around the edge or beat on any inside moves, swim moves, spin moves. I'm not seeing that. So I don't have anything bad to say about Braxton. It's kind of just, it's Braxton Jones. That's who he looks like. Braxton to me. He looks like a guy who's a serviceable tackle in the National Football League. He's never going to be an all-pro. He's never going to, like, you know what I mean? But you could do a lot worse too. And that's how he looks to me now. He looks the way he's kind of always looked to me. Now, they've given him some veteran days off and, understanding what he's dealing with and things like that. And he's been in the rotation with Ozzy. So, definitely trying to look out for his ankle. And, he referenced he's not 100% yet on it, but he looks okay. He looks like what you would expect Braxton Jones to look like.
What about the middle three? The big three acquisitions, 2 guards in the center. That's our run game. How are they looked? Have they looked like they're getting in sync? How's the run game looked to this point?
It's gotten better. They did a lot of inside run yesterday. They've been doing this drill. They've been doing this 9-on-9 drill. To be honest, I don't know that I've seen it before.
9-on-9. Got DBs in there?
No corners.
Oh, just the safeties.
Just the safeties.
And the box.
Condensed formations. Nobody's outside of the tight ends or anything like that. It's 9-on-9, and it's inside run, and you fucking know it. Like, what's up? It's inside run. What's up?
You're making my arm stand up.
Yeah. And it's gotten better for the offense because initially it was defense. It's Grady Jarrett. It's Big Bill. It's Dex. It's TJ. It's Tremaine. It's Jaquan Brisker filling. Like, the defense was in control, and you can hear them, and they loud. But you know how those guys are. You know how loud Jaquan is. Grady Jarrett is also a very loud individual. Right? He's a very loud individual, and you hear him out there talking. He's like, "Don't run that shit this way. What y'all thought this was?" Like, you know what I mean? Like he's y'all better go over there with that. Like you can hear him on the field. He has been very impressive. Like I know we hit 30, and all of a sudden you're not supposed to be able to walk on a football field no more.
All right.
Shit, he is balling. Right? He's this big, Shawn. He like your height, bro. Like he this big, bro. But he's so stout and he's so big and strong, and he's already got leverage on you naturally, but he plays with even better leverage, and he gets under your pads and he's moving you, and you damn sure are not moving him. He sinks on those double teams and he's holding up his gap, and you're not running there. You're just not doing it. And he's next to Bill, and you're not moving Andrew Billings either, right? So now you got B gap, A gap, B gap. No. Right? And it's impressive, right? And then you got Dex. They've been doing some 5-man fronts as well, where you have all 3 of them in the middle. Dex, Billings, Grady, all of them in the middle, and Montez and Dio on the ends. And it's imposing to even look at. I'm on the sideline. I'm not standing in front of this, but it's imposing to even look at that 5-man front. So initially, defense was dominating those 9-on-9 inside run drills. But it's been impressive to see the offense start to fight back. They started to get some camaraderie. Jonah Jackson was out for a little bit. He was back yesterday. He opened up a nice hole that, I think it was Dre. DeAndre Swift burst through. This was a legit 20, 25-yard run, right? Not a fake extra burst. Like, they opened up that hole, moved those guys, got to the second level, and he was bursting through there. So you're starting to see some of those things come together as they get more and more snaps together. Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, Joe Tooney. They've been in there the majority of the time. Like I said, Jonah missed a couple practices. He's back. Left side has been a bit of a rotation. Joe Tooney, Dio Dangbo. Joe Tooney took Dio and watched him. He could have took that man to the sidelines if he wanted to, right? He was lined up. I don't know if he was head up, but Joe Tooney flipped his hips, got inside of him, drove him out to the sideline, and he could have took him to those. You know where the train tracks are. He could have took him to the train tracks if he wanted to, right? So you're seeing the offensive line start to come together. They starting to gel. They starting to get used to playing with each other. They starting to understand the system, and also, like the running backs are starting to trust what they're seeing in front of them, right? You got to stay on that track. You got to believe that, okay, if this is supposed to pop here, I got to believe it's going to pop there. Now, if it doesn't, maybe I got time to do something else. But I have to at least trust them long enough for me to stay on that track if it does pop. Because if it does, boom, now I'm out the door for 20. So you're starting to see that relationship come together, not only with the linemen, but also with the running backs. And, they're starting to get it together. So I think certainly arrow up for the offensive line right now, and it's specifically that interior 3, because they are dealing with some dudes, man. They dealing with some dudes on the other side of the ball. I wouldn't want nothing to do with trying to move Billings, Grady, Dexter, none of that. Brandon Williams, was it Chris Williams? I always trip on his name. But he's been having a really good camp as well. You see 91 flashing out there a lot, so they're gonna have a pretty good rotation of defensive tackles, even with just those four. And you got the kid Shamar Turner lurking whenever he's able to come back too, and got to see he's gonna be well behind. Got to see what he's able to do at that point. You talk about Zach Pickens and some of those guys. That's like I don't know how much space is left. This might be his last leg, because if you're gonna take 4 or 5, then the 4 or 5 are gonna be Billings, Jared, Dexter, Williams, and Turner, and that's just what it is.
Interesting. I'm excited. So you're saying the running backs are trusted, pressing the hole a little bit and staying in on that track. That's and there's nothing better. I'll tell you from experience. There's nothing better when you get to stay on that track, when you know you're going to stay on that track, you know that dude, because you see the guy that's supposed to be blocking, like he's going to be boom, there it is. You just wait it. There's nothing better than being on that track. That's great stuff.
It's the way Emmett used to be able to run. Emmett used to be able to run with such confidence. And I don't take anything away from him. And he's a great back and played for a long time. But he ran with such confidence that Larry Allen and Nate Newton and those boys, like, I'm good. And
those linemen are like 4 6s.
I'm ducked behind these dudes, and I am
good. Short, dude. That was 5'9".
He didn't consider coming off the track until second, third level. He didn't even have to think about it. He ran with such confidence because of those dudes that are in front of him. That has to be a really comforting feeling. You contrast that to what Barry Sanders had to deal with, where he's like, as soon as I get the ball, I might got to juke somebody like 5 yards deep in the backfield. You know what I mean? So I might got to spin this thing out the back door. Yeah, like it's just a different thing. Again, not taking nothing from Emmett, but it's a different situation. That's where you want to be. That's the comfort you want to have, and you're starting to see that from the backs as they work with these offensive linemen.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that, because I know everything's going to be predicated on this running game, and it's going to make everything easier for Caleb. Defensively, one of the guys who hasn't gotten a lot of run that I really liked a couple of years ago, hasn't really made a lot of noise. Still on the team, Noah Sewell. Is he making any noise? Because in this new Dennis Allen, in this Dennis Allen system, because I really like Noah Sewell, and I was hoping that he could be. I mean, he was a dog. He's not his last year at Oregon, because they got a new DC, and he changed it. But the year before, man, he was a dog, and he's one like them Polynesian, bro. They ain't scared of that smoke. They want all of it. They want it.
They definitely do. He's played well. He's gotten a lot of reps. He's getting most of the first team reps at Sam, nice. And then he's getting the second team reps at Mike. So he's staying on the field a lot. He's a special teams guy for them as well. I think Ruben Hippolyte's better than him. And I say that because he's more athletic. Mm-hmm. He's faster. And to me, he has better instincts in terms of what he's seeing and what's about to happen, and his reaction to it is much quicker. My question about Hippolyte coming into camp was, will he be able to bring his pads? In the spring, you could see the athleticism, right? I remember him carrying DeAndre Swift on a wheel route about 40 yards down the field, hip to hip, turn his head, find the ball, get a clean PBU, no pass interference, none of that, right? And I was like, well, that's damn impressive. And you see him shoot the gaps on a blitz, but that was shorts and T-shirts, and I'm not really impressed when I see things like that by shorts and T-shirts. But I did take note of it, and I said if he can bring his pads with that athleticism, he might be able to win that spot, and he has brought his pads. I'm not saying he's a big thumper. I'm not saying he's laying dudes out there, but he's getting to the ball, and he's making tackles, and I like what I see from him. And so if it were me, honestly, I would lean towards Hippolyte in that spot. I think Noah Sewell's had ample opportunity to take that spot and run with it. I know he played behind Jack, but even Jackie talking about an undrafted, rookie free agent that's come in and he made his mark in the same way that Noah Sewell could have as a whatever round pick he was, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever, mid-round pick. So listen, I like Noah. There's definitely a spot for him, but if I was being honest with you right now, I would probably lean towards Ruben Hippolyte.
Isn't he a lot smaller in stature though? He's a
little bit. He's a little undersized, for sure, but the athleticism is there. And again, that's why I was concerned about him being able to bring his pads, because he is a little undersized. But he's brought his pads. He's willing to meet that fullback or that tight end when they put him in the backfield, meet him in the hole. Boom. He's willing to meet, that pulling guard in the hole. Boom. So if he's going to do that, then I'm not going to hold him back because he's undersized. I remember linebackers like Dexter Coakley or the London Fletchers of the world even. Like, I'm not holding guys back just because they small. Dexter Coakley was small. He was a hitter. He was a football player. So, if you can do it, you can do it. And if you have the athleticism, that gives you a leg up on guys who don't have that kind of athleticism. They don't make too many guys that are, linebackers that have that kind of speed and that kind of mobility and athleticism to flip their hips and those types of things. So I just like what I've seen from the kid. He brings something different than Noah Sewell brings. That's not a knock on Noah. Like I said, he's had a fine camp. He's been in there. He's been healthy, which has been a struggle for him at times. So nothing against Noah. I think the kid has a little bit more in his toolbox. I really do.
Dennis Allen said that the number 2 corner position is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen that? How is Tariq Stevenson taken that? How has he responded? And how are the other people? How are they like piranhas looking at that one spot? Like, oh shit! Like I actually got a shot. Like sometimes you go to a spot, if you're drafted, okay, he's here, I'm behind him, and there's really no shot. Coach Allen made it crystal clear that number 2 spot's open, and it gave everybody a jolt in the arm. Like I got legitimately have a shot. How's that been going? And who do you think is the front runner for that spot opposite Jalen Johnson?
Yeah, I have been watching that battle all camp because it's been very, very good. I put out a very long tweet about it yesterday, in fact, because I've been watching that battle intensely. I actually asked Coach Allen that specific question, and I was like, does Tyreek or Nashawn have the leg up, or is it, completely up for grabs? He said that thing is completely up for grabs, right? Jalen's going to come back, and he's your number 1 corner. That second corner is completely up for grabs, and it's been a very good battle between Nashawn Wright and Tyreek Stevenson. Nashawn Wright, respectfully, I didn't know who the man was before spring. I just didn't. But he stands out. He's 6'4", long arms. It's like, well, who is that dude? And then he starts to get these first team reps, and Jalen's not out there. And my initial thought, okay, Jalen's not out there. It's going to be Tyreek, and it's going to be Terrell Smith. No, it's just 25 long, lanky dude. It's like, well, who's the 25 long, lanky dude? Okay, it's Nashawn Wright. And it took us a while to figure out if it was Nashawn or whatever, but it didn't take a while to see that he could play, right? He's competing at the ball, at the point of attack. He's high pointing. He's getting his hands on guys, and you're seeing like, oh, he might be a player. And then it gets to a point where they start to rotate guys in, and they're bringing in Smitty, and they're bringing in McLeod, and Tyreek is going off the field, and Nashawn is staying on the field. It's like, well, wait a minute, what we got going on here, right? And you got to understand, this coaching staff is not married to Tyreek. Like, he's not the returning starter. He's just another guy contending for the spot. He didn't start for me last year. Whatever. You know what I mean? All of these dudes are new. Now, one of these dudes is a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro, and so we know he's going to have a spot. But everybody else, they didn't start for me last year. Like, they're not returning starters. They're just guys trying to earn a spot. So they've treated the competition that way, and Nashawn Wright's got a lot of action. A lot of footballs have come his way, and he's been up for the challenge. I've been very impressed with him throughout camp. Now, Reek also having a very strong camp, right? I'm not saying that Nashawn's having a good camp, so Reek is having a bad camp. Reek is having a good camp too, right? Reek fits this system very well too. We know DA likes the long corners that are physical, that can get their hands on guys, reroute guys, all those types of things. Tyreek likes to do those things. I have a little bit of concern about, him man-to-man coverage if the play gets extended and he's trailing guys on, 40-yard drag across the field or straight goes deep. Like, I don't know if that's his ideal game, but in terms of him getting his hands on guys, he fits that very, very well. And so coming up and pressing guys, I like that. Tyreek's having a really good camp as well, and Coach Al Harris is all on him. Now, we heard from both of those guys yesterday. Talked to Nashawn Wright, and he says, one, he's got a really good relationship with Al Harris, who is the secondary coach and the passing game coordinator. He's been with Coach Harris since his rookie year. Coach Harris is taking him, hey, we here, we there, right? Mm-hmm. And now he's brought him to Chicago, and he's done that for a reason. And he was the first one to get those reps when Jalen went down for a reason, because Coach Harris believes in him. And I think that matters. Now, there was a first depth chart that came out, and I don't read much into the first depth chart because it's far from the final one. Tyreek was listed as the starter opposite Jalen Johnson, and Nashawn was, on the second team on the depth chart. But those two have gotten not all of them. They gotten the vast majority of the reps. They have rotated in Terrell Smith and McLeod. They've rotated those guys in to get some reps as well. But for the most part, all the number one reps have gone to Tyreek and to Nashawn, and they're having a really, really good battle. Now, we talked to Tyreek yesterday as well, and it was the most mature I've ever heard him speak. He had his head on straight about what's happening here, what he needs to do. He talked about just making his own daily deposits, worrying about what he can control, worried about learning the system and just showing up and stacking good days. He talked about, just coming in and competing and knowing his job and doing what he needs to do, moving past the mistakes, understanding that, his confidence is never going to be shaken. He said, man, if you beat me, I always think it's because I messed up. I never think it's because you're better than me. So his head is in the right space. He's open to the competition. He's willing to compete and battle for it. Those two guys seem to get along well. You see them talking to each other. You see them congratulating each other. Nashawn Wright said as much, said they talk, they encourage each other, they help each other out. So it hasn't been this contentious thing with them that maybe you could see when two guys are battling for one spot. But both of them are performing very, very well, and I feel comfortable with either one of them playing opposite Jalen Johnson right now. I even feel comfortable if Jalen Johnson isn't ready for week one and those two guys got to go. Now, you talk about Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, and that's not ideal, but they've both played really, really well to this point in camp. And so I'm looking forward to the rest of this competition. I told him on my tweet yesterday, I was like, that's what I'm going to be watching for the rest of the camp. I'll do daily reports on that battle alone, who I think had the better day between those two guys.
That was going to be, well, first of all, Addison's not playing. He's suspended. The NFL came out.
Oh, right.
He's done the first three, so that helps big time.
It does.
Big time. And that was going to be my first question, but you covered that. I was going to say, if Jalen Johnson isn't ready for week one, is it most likely then going to be those two, then 1 and 2?
Yeah, most likely. Not to take
awesome.
Anything away from Smitty or McLeod, because they play well too. But those two dudes, they started as the first team guys, and they've done nothing to relinquish those spots. Man, they continue to play at a very high level, both of them.
Last question before I let you go, man. I always appreciate your opinion, your analysis. Jaquan Brisker, how's he looked? We know his situation, the concussions that kept him out for 12 weeks, 13 weeks, whatever it was last year. How has he played, and is he trying to make up for lost time, and is he still the same Jaquan Brisker that we all know and love?
I asked Reek yesterday, what's it like, having Jaquan back on the field, just hearing him back on the field, considering he missed so much time last year. And Tyreek said, man, I almost forgot that he was gone. It just seems like he just picked up right where he left off. It's just having Jaquan back on the field as you're used to having Jaquan back on the field. It makes me smile to watch that dude play the game, man. He's having so much fun. He's flying around. He brings so much energy, so much passion, so much intensity. You can hear him out there on the field. You can see him flashing, making plays. He shot the gap blew up a play in the backfield for a TFL yesterday, and he just walks straight all through the offensive. You know how the offensive guys all stand behind the play. He walks all through there. He's talking his smack. He comes back and chest bumps.
Media, saw that.
Yeah, he chest bumps Coach Johnson. Says what he's got to say to him. Coach couldn't do nothing but laugh about it. Like it's just so much fun having 9 on the field, man. I love that kid so much. Just who he is as a person, but the way he plays the game, I just appreciate it. I worry about him immensely because, like I said, I do like the kid a lot, and I worry about him because concussions are just brutal, man. I watched a clip of Chris Olave's concussions, and I didn't know he had so many. But I saw a clip yesterday where they put like his 5 concussions, and it was brutal, man. And so you don't want to see that for Jaquan. He's stubborn about the angel cap or whatever it's called. He won't wear it. Yeah. he won't wear it. He doesn't want to wear it. He's gonna play how he plays. And you just pray for him. But it's really good to have him back. He looks good. He looks like Jaquan. He's big back there. He's loud back there. He's a leader. He's calling things out. He's getting guys excited. He's celebrating with his teammates. He's on the sideline celebrating with the second team as they're on the field. Like he's just that kind of guy that you just love to have on your team, and you love to watch him play. And those are the types of things that you like to see. So it's just great to have him back out there. He looks like himself, and he's definitely making plays. I want to say this before I get out of here. And I know you got to hit your break. The practice yesterday was so physical. It was so intense. All these guys were getting into it. You had Jonathan Owens getting into it with Roshan. You had somebody snatched what's Roma Dunze? Somebody snatched Roma Dunze's helmet right off of his head. Big guys were getting into it. Little guys were getting into it. Big guys were getting into it with little guys. It was just all day long, and Coach Johnson didn't seem to have a problem with it at all. It was that type of energy and passion. You know how it is. It gets to this point in camp, you're tired of hitting the same guys. You're tired of hearing the same things, and it's just like you need to hit somebody else, and you could see it coming early. As soon as we walked out onto the practice field, Jason Lees from the Sun-Times was like, they're going to fight today. You could just kind of feel it, and they fought a lot yesterday. Now, some of it got stupid, right? At some point, and this is where I wanted to hit, it got real stupid at some point. The offense was trying to run like a 4-minute drill. They put it on the clock. They were up 1, and they had 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. And they trying to run out the clock, and the defense is obviously trying to stop them, get the ball back, and set us up for a game-winning field goal or whatever it may be. In 2 minutes and 24 seconds, all the offense was able to do was take 40 seconds off the clock, and the defense had one timeout. One timeout that they banged after the very first play. They banged the timeout after first down. They have no more timeouts left. It's like 2:18, 2 something like that left to go, and they got the 2-minute warning, whatever. The offense bails them out. They get the 2-minute warning, and then the offense bails them out because after the play is over, DeAndre Swift muffs Dayo Odengbo in the face. Gets a 15-yard penalty, stops the clock when the clock was running. They get 15 yards. Now it's like 2nd and 25 or whatever it is, and the clock is stopped. And you stop the clock, right? It's dumb. Now, they come back, they run one play. I think that may have been the 2-minute warning. And then they come back after that, and Coach Johnson tries to get him out and say, let me not just run simple ball, simple handoff, and get it stuffed or whatever. He tries to run a simple boot, right? Puts it in there, boots around to Caleb's left. Caleb's got first level tight end wide open in his face, and then he's got a second level tight end that's covered. For whatever reason, Caleb tries to stop, hit the second level tight end. It gets knocked down, incomplete, clock stop. Y'all only kill 40 seconds in this situation. We're talking about situational football. This is how you win football games. Your running back does something egregiously stupid and selfish, gets you 15 yards in the clock stop. Then your quarterback, you got, as the play caller, you have to be able to trust the quarterback. If you're going to make a call like that, because everybody's going to say, well, why wouldn't you just run the ball, Coach Johnson? Well, I was getting him out on the edge to a simple boot. He's got a guy right there wide open in his face. I trust him to make that throw as opposed to trying to stop, throw back over the middle to this tough throw. It gets knocked down. You got to be able to trust your quarterback in situations like that and say, hey, I'm going to trust you here, but protect me, protect the team, take the check down right in your face. You're not going to throw you. That's not 25 yards anyway. So we're still going to be 4th down, but I'm trying to get you out. I'm trying to get us a little bit more yards on this punt and take a little bit more time off the clock. You take the cheap thing that's right in your face, you try to do something else, and it cost them again. Now you're punting this ball back. The clock went from 2:24 to 1:44 on the defense when they only had one timeout and the 2-minute warning. But the penalty, the incompletions, unacceptable. We'll talk about situational football. That's the stuff that would kill Coach Belichick. It's got to be the stuff that kills Coach Johnson too.
Dude, great stuff, man. I appreciate it, Herb. Man, I'm fired up. Do me a favor, though. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Man, thanks for having me. As always, I appreciate you, brother. You can follow me on Twitter at HerbHoward411. You can follow my work at thebigs.us or the Bigs Media on Twitter. We finally changed our Twitter handle, so stop being so confusing everybody. But the Bigs Media on Twitter, thebigs.us online, and me, HerbHoward411.
Great stuff, man. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, bro. God, that's Herb Howard for the Bigs. Man, giving it to you. Man, straight no chaser. I loved it. I love the fact what he talked about, the 2-minute drill, situational football. Man, it got me fired up. The hair on my arm is still standing up because I love talking football with that dude. One of the guys that I respect, who's played the game, who I can, when I ask him a question, I trust what he sees. And like, some people, a lot of people who haven't played, it's just a different feel, just a different level of confidence that I have in his analysis. But man, that was great stuff. Listen, 2 hours is come and gone. I want to thank Herb Howard for his time today, breaking down all things Bears. Great stuff. We'll replay this tonight at 6:00. All right, so if you missed it, or you can go back and check it out at 6:00 tonight if you want to listen to it. Actually, it'll be 7 when he comes on. But yeah, guys, listen, I want you guys to have a phenomenal day. This is going to be a beautiful day here in the Chi, 82 degrees, 83 degrees. All right, get out there, enjoy it. The days are getting shorter. I think today's going to be the last day where the sun sets after 8 o'clock. From now on, the days keep getting shorter. The sun's going to set before 8. So, man. Plankster says, thank you, Shawn. Chat. Peace, bear down. Bear down, Plankster. Appreciate it. Cornelius says, Herb, you the man. Plankster again. Thank you, Herb. Bear down. Good stuff. But we're going to have let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. I say that all the time. I make plans with people. All right. It is it's imperative that you do so. Again, I'm going to see you at 6. This will be replayed. You guys have a phenomenal day. All right. Your boy, the SuperBack. I am out.